I am concerned about what your concerns are. One of the things that I've always said, if you come to me with a concern, we have all kinds of concerns. Come with me for a solution, with a solution. Give me a starting point. Give me something that we can discuss and talk about, and that I can take where I got to take it to get things in motion to solve those problems. As I said, I may have an idea, you might have an idea, let's bring them together, and we have one big idea. And I just got to stop something.
Okay, question number 16. What is your position on reducing the size of the Pennsylvania legislature? And on this one, we will begin with Mr. Moyer.
Well, I've always been for a smaller government. Most of you know that I supported a drive for 5 here in our own little township. But things that recently happened, it showed that we were right, that we should have had 5 representatives there. But is our government here in Pennsylvania too big? Yeah, I kind of think it is. If you look at some of the other states, they work with much smaller governments. I'm a big advocate of Article 5 of the United States Constitution, which deals with the federal government, which one of the key issues is reducing the size of the government there, limiting the terms. I don't see anything any different with the state and local level for that.
I think there's a lot of areas to look at when it comes to the question of reducing the size of the representatives. We are one of the largest, and we are the second highest paid. And again, I think it's a bit abominable to know that you get to be paid $86,000 to have to travel to Harrisburg only 42 days a year. I have a huge issue with that. And that's something that I probably will make less friends in Harrisburg for. However, I think it's something that you as taxpayers are owed the responsibility of being able to look at that. The other issue you need to take into consideration is the potential decrease in representation. We're not Pittsburgh, we're not Philadelphia, we're central Pennsylvania. We already have lack of representation in Harrisburg when it comes to our voting power. And if you have decrease in size, you're going to run the risk of rural areas losing even more representation than they have right now. So it's certainly something we need to look at all areas of.
You choose to do rebuttals? Yes.
When I lived in California, I spent over 30 years in the banking industry making commercial loans to businesses. And one of the things that I always found fascinating in dealing with particularly large businesses is that they have a board of directors. Do you know how many members on the board of directors? 12. That's it. And they run that multi-corporations worldwide. And we have 200 and some legislatures down in Harrisburg running this state.
The only rebuttal that I want to give is the fact that I'm a full-time physician, I'm a full-time mother, I'm a full-time wife. I'm here this evening. I'm running a full-time campaign, and nothing prevented me from being here. Nothing prevents me from going on the radio in the mornings. Nothing prevents me from being able to canvass and come to your door and discuss issues with you. We have our opponent who is busy running a full-time campaign who wasn't able to be here with us this evening. That's an excuse, and I'm sorry. If you can come at me with being full-time, then I have an issue with that.
Okay. We will now go to question 17. Many in urban areas want Sunday hunting. Many farmers here do not. What is your stance on allowing Sunday hunting? Begin with Dr. Jen.
This is an area that I actually knew very little about even in 2018 when I started campaigning. And so having the opportunity to meet with a lot of people, including hunters, to discuss this was important. You know, I grew up in a hunting family, and it was unfortunate that my dad had to use a week of vacation in order to go hunting because it's not something he could have done on the weekends. I appreciate that there are trails and there are parks that people want to be able to go in on a Sunday and be safe, but the fact is there are several state-marked opportunities for trails, for bike riding on a Sunday. When we have people who are working hard jobs Monday through Friday, we want them to be able to stay We want them to be able to have a job. We argue and we complain about citizens not working full-time jobs, but yet then we limit them when they want to do something of recreation. So Sunday hunting is certainly something that I'm absolutely open to and appreciate.
I too am open to Sunday hunting. I don't do any hunting anymore. I only went hunting when I was young, went with my father. I don't recall that being an issue at that time. I don't see any reason that a person can't go out and hunt on a Sunday. There's many other things that we do on a Sunday. Why can't we include hunting on that? I just ask that that hunter be responsible when they're out there. When you raise that gun up and try to shoot something, remember, you can't bring that weapon or the bullet back or BBs out of that shotgun back once you pull that trigger. Once you pull it, they're gone. So hopefully you're hitting an animal and not something else. So I would support having them go ahead and do hunting on Sundays.
Rebuttals, Dr. Jen?
The one thing that I learned that was very interesting was that this is an old blue law that we have in the state of Pennsylvania. And there are several of them, which they're important to look at. They were put there for a reason. But the fact is there are several other states who have gotten rid of this law and have seen no increase in issues with accidental shootings or problems with Sunday hunting. So that's something we need to look at too.
Mr. Moore?
No. All points were brought up.
Okay, question number 18. Is it reasonable to promote natural gas as a sensible source of energy while transitioning to renewable energy sources? What is your position on this? And we will begin this question with Mr. Moyer.
Well, personally, I like to see natural gas. When I lived in California, that was predominantly what we had as an energy source was natural gas. Many people have a fear of natural gas because it is odorless. But if you have the proper detectors in your house, you'll certainly be safe. Yeah, it's very volatile. If something happened and it exploded, it could be a nasty explosion. There's no doubt about that. But it's a cheaper energy source. We certainly have plenty of it, and I think that we should do whatever we have to do to get the natural gas out to the people. We have a landfill sitting up here right now that's just loaded with all kinds of methane gas. Why can't we harness that?
I think the issue with natural gas is, as Pennsylvania being one of the most resource-rich sources of natural gas in the United States, if we're going to allow companies to come into our state to receive and drill for the natural gas, then they need to pay for it. You should not be a taxpayer who's paying a fee, a severance tax to other states in order to get gas from them when we have companies right here doing it basically for free. Yes, we have an impact fee. The fact of the matter is impact fees are temporary and they decrease. So technology improves the wells, they last longer, then they're being drilled for free. When the fact is 85 to 90% of the natural gas that is drilled from Pennsylvania leaves our state. So this is something that you as a taxpayer are basically being robbed for and then having to pay for it later. So it's not so much an issue of whether we should use natural gas, but if we're going to allow it to be used, then the companies need to pay for it.
Rebuttal, Mr. Moore? Dr. Jen? Question number 19. You both say that minimum wage should be increased to help with the poverty level, yet almost every business in Union and Snyder County are desperately looking for help. How would you help these businesses find employees? And we will begin that question with